Uh, Hello everyone, I'm Jagannath Tiwari. A professional into the field of the automotive cybersecurity, and I'm working since last 11 years in this field. So I'm also a certified information system security professional, and so this was a little bit about me. Now moving further, we will now go through a simple demo and a case study. When I'm talking about a case study, it means that when I start working over an ECU and I start looking over it, what could be the possible threats of an ECU, how I do it, okay, how I identify the attack surface, how I identify the damages which are related to the attack surface, and what could be the possible methods. Okay, now from these damages, actually your impact is identified. What could be the impact? On the other side, you have the threats and everything from which your feasibility is identified. Okay, how feasible it is to do this attack, and using this impact and feasibility, you determine the risk rating. But in this, we are not going in that deep. We will just try to understand the attack surface, the attack methods, and the damage scenarios. What could be the possible damages that could happen? Okay. Before going into the case study, there are some terms and abbreviation that we need to understand. So I will go through those points just for your better understanding that what we are talking about. Okay. So the question comes here that how attackers get in. Okay, so this is what I am trying to identify, that if I have an ECU, then how an attacker could get in. Okay, the first thing that I need to identify is the attack surface. Okay, attack surface is a point which the attacker could exploit. Okay, so it could be anything. It could be your wireless communication. Protocol. It could be your USB port. It could be your the multimedia playback, or your external diagnostic interfaces. It could be your application also. So attack surface could be anything. In a simple terms, if you say an attack surface is a set of points or a system elements whereby an attack can potentially breach, affect or control system, extract or manipulate the information. Okay, that is the definition of the attack surface, the formal definition of the attack surface. Fine. So in more detail, if you say, then attack surface are often referred to as the digital footprints. This is just more fancy term. So digital footprint. So what it consists of? It consists of the thousands of assets. Assets are something which is valuable for you. That is called, you call the asset. No, maybe your wallet is your asset. Okay, so that is valuable for you. If it is being stolen, much of the data which is personal to you, your money, your financial, you will have a financial loss. You will have a personal information loss. Many things could be lost. No, so this is an asset for you. Similarly, an attack surface could be related to the assets. So if an attack surface is compromised, your assets could be compromised. Okay, it contains the components, externally controlled information system like your internet infrastructure, millions of signals across the public and private cloud environment, and then organization, brand, social media, and the mobile system. It could be anything. Okay, so if your attack surface is compromised, it could be this means your security system has failed. In some way, your security system has failed if a track surface has been compromised. Okay. Now, designing a secure automotive product is something which is the basic of developing a product, developing a secure product. And when you say this secure by design principle, okay, secure by design principle is all about predicting every kind of threats that could be possible to your system and try to implement the security measures. Okay, but it is for sure it is not possible to identify all the threats to your system. So what need to be done is that you need to implement also a intrusion detection system. Let's say, okay, you need to implement an intrusion detection system. Now this ISO 21434 is basically the standard which has been defined, and it is previously it was SAE J3061, which was the guideline, but over this guidelines, this standard has been defined by the automotive industry, and this ISO is basically followed in all the OEMs, tier 1, and in complete automotive industry this ISO is followed. Okay, And this also defines a method of threat and risk analysis that need to be done in the starting phase. Now, what we are going to discuss right now is a part of threat and risk analysis that you define the attack surface, and then from the attack surface you identify the damage. Okay. Then there are further things that need to be done in the threat and risk analysis. But for now, we will only understand the attack surface and the your damage scenarios. Okay. Let's just directly, I think, jump to this discussion. Okay, I'm defining the attack surface. Okay, now let's say you have this vehicle, and within this vehicle you have this network infrastructure. Okay, where you have the central gateway, and then you have in-vehicle infotainment system, ADAS in one module. Then you have the other modules, and like this, the central gateway is dividing the complete network into the different modules. Okay, and let's take this particular network into our consideration. Excuse me. So you have your central gateway. On one side of central gateway, your IPC is connected, which is your instrument panel cluster, and then through the other CAN, your in-vehicle infotainment system is connected. Okay, let's just take this very simple network into our consideration, and we will try to identify that what could be the possible attack surface for this IPC. Okay, for this instrument panel cluster. Fine. So the attack surface could be what are the functionalities which has been implemented into the in-vehicle infotainment system. Okay, so when you identify the attack surface, it is not necessary that you find the attack surface only on this ECU, because this ECU, if you see, is connected only to CAN. Okay, CAN 1 and CAN 2, but this ECU could be compromised if these two ECUs could be compromised. Okay, so the basic attack surface could not be here; it could be here itself. Okay, over the in-vehicle infotainment system. Okay, so your Wi-Fi or Bluetooth could be your attack surface. Your cellular radio, which are the long-range wireless communication. Okay, your GPS, your multimedia, which is all over your in-vehicle infotainment system. Your USB could be there. Wi-Fi or cellular network could also be over the gateway. Okay, so gateway could also have the cellular connectivity. Fine. So corresponding to these attack surface that I have identified over that network, what could be the possible attacks, then I will try to understand. Okay, so corresponding to the Wi-Fi, there could be packet sniffing, jamming, man in the middle attack, or the protocol related exploits. Okay, you have the DOIP and everything implemented, diagnostics over IP. So there are protocol related exploits that could be possible. What could be the method? So I will try to understand now, if these are the attacks, what could be the method to do these attacks. Okay, so let's say a port can show vulnerability. So I will scan the ports, all the ports, and I find that there is a port which has a vulnerability such as service listening without a valid credential. Okay, this could be a possible open port which could be compromised and could be used for these attacks. Okay, what kind of attack class it is? It is a denial. It could be a denial of service attack or information disclosure attack. Okay, so using this particular attack, the attacker could do the denial of service. So any service which need to be done, which need to be performed, will not be happening. Okay, or some information could be sniffed and which should not be disclosed is disclosed. Okay, this could be a possible attack class. Similarly, you have your cellular and radio, GPS, which are long range. So you can have your GPS tracking apps and GPS spoofing. Okay, what could be the method? Default user account password found in the GPS tracker apps. Okay, which is such as like pre-track or iTrack by reverse engineering. Okay, then GPS spoofing by a low-cost portable GPS spoof. This is generally it has been observed that many a times this is done. Okay, so there were many cases also because of this GPS spoofing has happened. Okay, so what could be the attack class? Reverse engineering could be an attack class. Okay, reverse engineering and spoofing could be the attack class. Okay. Then for the multimedia playback, you have your CD-ROM, audio over Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, and all. Okay, the first attack, the Jeep Cherokee attack that I was talking about, was over your Uconnect system, which was basically your in-vehicle infotainment system. And when your IVI was compromised, the attacker were able to compromise all the other ECUs. Okay, so that's why most of the attack surface could be over your IVI system. Okay, so this is also related to your IVI system, multimedia playback. Okay, so especially if you talk about the possible attacks, what could be the possible attack? Especially prepared media files can be used to tamper the media engine services, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi attack. So you have a USB stick which could be used to reflash your system again. Okay. In this Jeep Cherokee attack, there was a facility that by default this USB was used to reflash the ECU. It was the method which was used by the OEM, and the attackers were able to exploit this method to reflash their software into the ECU. Okay, so in this way, this particular attack surface could be compromised. Okay, and method could be use the Trojan CD as I told you, and researchers were able to turn on a song burnt on in the CD into a Trojan horse. So a virus could be inserted into your vehicle. What is the attack class? Your social engineering tampering. This is the attack class. Okay, why social engineering tampering? Let's say you go into a Uber and you ask the user, the driver, that okay, I want to plug my USB and play my songs. Okay, maybe he will be able to allow you. Okay, so this could be a social engineering tampering. USB port, I have identified it differently because it is one of the major attack surface. So it could be again used for the multimedia playback. Firmware software updates are done using the USB. Okay, and you could run shell scripts or install the unauthorized software using the USB. Okay, so method could be you can craft a malicious USB and you could use it. Again, the attack class is your social engineering. Okay, now corresponding to these attack effects and your attack class, if you talk about the damage, which is your functional effect, what could be the functional effect? So if your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth is compromised, okay, then it could be possible that attacker can display wrong data of the incoming calls. Okay, display call alert without the actual call alert, sending message with the high frequency, so denial of service could be done. Okay, generation bus off condition, so your CAN bus will be off if there is a condition for a particular CAN bus off is generated. Okay, so get confidential user information, so your information could be leaked. Fine. If your cellular radio network is compromised by reverse engineering or spoofing, then sending wrong turn indications could be done. Okay, or after the route to destination, or even the destination could even change. Okay, then change navigation information such as time or distance. You can do all those things which could really put the user into a trouble. Okay, in case of multimedia, which could also be done using the social engineering tampering, you can show slang on the screen, on the infotainment screen, or alter the functional behavior of the which all those entertainment things which are running over your AVI. The songs you can change. Okay, anything you can do over the infotainment system. And if you talk about the compromise to the internal network, your data integrity could be compromised, data authenticity, you can generate the error, periodicity, buffer overflow conditions you can produce, then your availability could be compromised, and your confidentiality could also be compromised. So this is how we identify the damages which are done in by compromising an attack surface of an ECU. And when you identify these functional effects, these are the damages that you identify. You identify what is the percentage of impact. Okay, so you identify a number from 1 to 5, and you give a number of impact. Okay, so let's say display wrong data of the incoming call is not a major impact. It is not going to threat the life. Okay, so its rating could be 1. Okay, then changing the route is more severe attack than just changing the incoming call information. Okay, so the rating could be 2 or 3, and if there is some damage which is literally the life threatening, those damages are given the rating of the 5. Okay, this is how we do the impact rating. And we also, by the attack class, we also try to understand that whether this attack is actually feasible, what level of knowledge the attacker need for performing this attack, and how easy it is to perform this attack. Okay, so if that attack is easily performed, the feasibility rating will be high. Okay, and with this feasibility rating and the impact rating, the risk is determined. Okay, so if you have the high feasibility rating and high impact rating, you have the high risk, and if you have the low feasibility rating and low impact rating, you have the low risk. Okay, and depending upon the risk, when you identify the risk, the the damages which have the most risk, you need to mitigate those first. Okay, and it is really very important to clearly mention what mitigation strategy you have used. Okay, and this is the actual practical method that is followed into your industry. I think this is followed in all the security industry, and same is in the automotive industry. Let's move further. The standards which provides you all this information of performing the threat and risk analysis is, as I told you, is ISO SAE 21434. This is the ISO. Okay, and this discuss about what method you need to follow from the start of development till the production, and after the production during the maintenance phase. What are the methods you need to followed, and what are the things that you need to take care, what are the responsibilities, what is the process that need to be followed. Okay, this provides you information about it. Okay, it says that the aim is to provide the guidelines on how to manage the automotive cybersecurity, similar to how ISO 262 is basically the safety standard, manages the functional safety on the road. Okay, so it is similar to, these two standards go hand in hand, ISO 21434 and ISO 26262. Both are related to the user safety. Okay, so basically cybersecurity management is taken care into this ISO, the ISO 21434, and a method of risk identification has been told. Okay, so a method of the threat and risk analysis has been defined into this ISO. So once you will go through this ISO, you will understand the method which is basically followed in the automotive industry to perform the risk assessment and to manage from the top level to the down level. So how the project should be managed in terms of cybersecurity, everything has been detailed in this ISO. Okay. If you talk about the contents, the most important points in this ISO defines the concept phase and the product development phase and the supporting process phase. So product phase, concept phase is something when you define your goals and define your cybersecurity requirements, what you actually need to implement in your ECU, and product development when you actually implement those requirements and test them. Okay, this is your product development phase. Fine. And in your supporting process, it defines and lists the management system to support. Cybersecurity assurance level classification scheme is defining, and it's essentially a measure of how rigorous cybersecurity requirement should be for a particular item. Okay, depending upon the SL. Okay, so if you have the CAL level and the SL level, you should be able to identify that what level of cybersecurity and the safety you need to implement. Okay. So this is the ISO which is followed in the automotive industry, and it is considered as the Bible for being followed. Okay.